Alright, in this video, we just picked up this cast iron wood stove, and as you can see, it's pretty rusty, but the good news is it's solid. In fact, it's only 4 years old. The guy said that apparently rain had leaked in the pipes and run down on it, but it is solid. So I'm going to show you how I clean these and how I season it. And yes, it is much easier to season it while it's outside, because I can put a rip-roaring fire in it once I get all the once I get it seasoned, and that will finish off the seasoning of it. Let me show you real quick here. This is what I'm using on it. Now on my wood cook stove, when I season it every year, I have used this when I first got them, especially if it was pretty rusty, which this stuff works really good. However, like my wood cook stove, just the top of it is cast iron. So the rest of it's easy to just take, good hot soapy water and wash it down. But the top, when I season it in the fall, I normally season it with, believe it or not, good old rendered pork fat, or in other words, lard. I just use lard on it, put a good hot fire in it, and season it pretty much like you would a cast iron skillet, because they are made out of the same thing. And this could be seasoned with lard. However, I would have to do it a couple of different times, and I would have to get a really good hot fire going in it to do it. So, I'm going to use this time, just to get it started. And then after that, it can be done with just lard. Okay, I guess with most things, because I ought to start at the top, work my way down. And I borrowed one of the kids' bowls. I'm sure they'll appreciate that because it probably won't be any good after this. Okay. Now we're going to watch this transform into a beautiful stove again. Gotta really work it down in there. Get it down in all those little pits. I'm going to turn y'all off. Finish putting this on here. I think you get the gist of how it's done. We're just going to put it on and I'll bring you back later on, hopefully. Hopefully I can do that. Hopefully I can get it done this evening before it gets too dark and the rain set in. Because I really need to get it moved and out of here so it doesn't get rained on. But I'll bring you back in just a little bit. Okay, before it gets too dark here, I got the rest of it done. And some of the inside. And all I'm going to do is take and wipe this down. Just buff it down a little bit. And get a little bit of the excess off of it. So that way it doesn't smoke quite so bad when there's fire lit in it. Now, I am probably going to have to put in a second coat on this. I can see that coming a mile away. But as you can see, once it dries, you don't get too much off of it. But I do see a few places where it's flaking off a little bit. So, right there, right there. So I'm going to have to go back over that. But basically all you have to rub some of the excess off. That's better. Okay. That was a short, abrupt ending to the video, wasn't it? Okay, I lost part of my footage. And I also ran out of time. So I didn't get to finish the job, shall we say. I got it all coated. And I got it all buffed out. However, it did start raining, so I didn't get to finish it. But by the time it quit raining, of course, it was time to load it up and take it to its new home in Tennessee. So I left instructions with Mr. Andy on how to finish it, but I'm going to tell you how to finish it, so that way you know. All that's left to do on it really is just put a really good hot fire in it. Now, the easiest way to do that is find you a bunch of small sticks, because logs won't get hot enough. I mean, they create a hot enough fire to heat your house, and they last longer, but we want a good hot fire going in it. So the smaller the wood, the hotter the fire will be. So we use what we call kindling, okay? Or you can pick up sticks and twigs, or twigs and sticks. I'll spit it out right yet. And use some of those too, but get you a good hot fire going in it. Keep it going for, oh, I would say at least a good half hour. And then let it die down, buff it out again. See if there's any places where it flakes off. If there is, then of course recoat it again and then fire the stove up again. And really that's all there is to it. Now it can be seasoned, like I said before, with lard, or in other words rendered pork fat, or almost any animal fat really. You know, you could do it with tallow. I wouldn't suggest doing it with chicken fat or any of that, but come on. Lard is probably your best bet, and it is what the old timers always used on it. And it is a cast iron stove, so it's, I'm trying to turn here a little bit to keep the glare off. I probably should have shut the door, and I didn't do it. I am sitting in my library with the door open. But at any rate, that's all there is to it, people. It's really not a difficult or complicated thing. They are just cast iron, like same as a cast iron skillet. It's kind of hard to find an oven big enough to put them in. So you have to put a good hot fire in them fire it up, and it will be seasoned and ready to go. And I just want to say thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being patient with me. It's taken me a while to get this video out. Took me a while to get it edited, and then I lost part of my footage. Then I got sick, and then I've had quite a bit of animal loss on the homestead lately. I lost almost all my babies, my baby birds. I think between me and Jason, I think we figured out that it was probably a weasel that got most of them, because they can get into places that are very small, much like a snake can, which a snake is what got my first duck. I caught it red-handed, coiled around the duck, and I got it, and I thought I saved the duck. It got up and run off, and it seemed to be doing good for a couple of days, but then all of a sudden it just up and died. So I'm thinking it may have done some internal damage that I couldn't see, and it wasn't letting me see it. It wasn't showing it. But after that, I think it was pretty much a weasel that got into them. And we are working on getting some traps in here and trying to trap these weasels before getting any more birds. So, at any rate, I want to thank you all for watching. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe. You never know what you're going to find on this channel. I'll talk to you all later on. God bless. Bye-bye.